Chapter 6, Train like a Navy SEAL. It can be hard work motivating yourself to work out when you really don't want to learn, or to work. But while that may be true, it's also fair to say it's much harder to trek through the desert for days on end without sleep. To run over barracks into enemy fire, or to make life or death decisions when your body is screaming at you to sleep. Of course, I'm talking about Navy SEALs. I'm talking about the military. I'm talking about paratroopers. I'm even talking about Spartans. For centuries, countries have been training their military to not only be able to fight, but also to be able to do so in the most dire and stressful circumstances. What's the secret? Partly, the secret comes down to learning to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. This has even been occasionally referred to as discomfort training. The truth of the matter is that we always want to be comfortable. We want to return to the homeostasis that we now know signals that all physiological needs are being met. While this is true though, it is also true that the human body was not designed to always be comfortable. Think about your ancestors. They did not have central heating, they did not have warm baths, they did not have clean clothes. They lived in their own dirt and faces, ate raw meat, and slept in the cold under the stars. The strange thing? They were no less happy than you. This is habituation. We become used to what we have, and that then becomes our baseline. Our bodies have adapted to living in warm, soft environments, where everything is set at the same height as us. We have very little physical or physiological stress. This is all good and well, except it makes us highly susceptible to any fluctuation in what has become our norm. Now when the heating breaks, or when you find yourself a little bit overtired, you feel as though your world is coming apart. Your body triggers a major stress response, and you feel anxious, jittery, confused, angry, and sluggish. So many of us struggle to perform on less than adequate sleep. Because the military knows that its infantry won't always have the luxury of a good night's sleep, it needs to train them in those conditions. Likewise, the Spartans would use to pull up bunches of grass with their bare hands. It didn't train their reflexes or muscle, it trained their grit, their determination, and their psychological endurance. They would then become habituated to being cold and being dirty and being tired. Likewise, soldiers would learn how to perform on less sleep. Now, when conditions were perfect, those same individuals would be far better at fighting, running, and performing. At the same time though, when life got even harder, they would be able to cope. So, what can you do? Try intermittent fasting, go without eating for 18 hours, train on suboptimal sleep, train outdoors with your shirt off, in the rain take cold showers and force yourself to endure that cold for an increasingly long amount of time, travel with nothing but a backpack, take part in ultramarathons, endurance sports, tough guy events. The aim is for us to learn to become comfortable in uncomfortable situations, to raise the level that we are able to tolerate. In SEAL training, there is an event called Hell Week. Without going into detail here, you can rest assured, it isn't very nice. Those who win are rewarded with the opportunity to lie in a boat huddled next to each other, spooning, and with a blanket thrown over you all. Those who go through this, claim that it is the comfiest that they have ever been. And when you start finding that you can be comfy anywhere, and that difficult situations aren't so difficult anymore, then you know you've reached a new level of performance. Now you can accomplish anything. Meditation. Don't have the mindset to force yourself to grind through a workout in the cold and wet with no top on? That's fair enough. But in that case, you need to do something to cultivate that kind of mentality to begin with. One way to do this is through meditation. Meditation is a practice that involves focusing the mind. This can be achieved by focusing on a mantra, such as Om, by looking at a flame, by listening to your own body, or by chanting prayer. These are all different types of meditation, but the goal is ultimately always going to be the same, to change what you focus on, and thereby to change your mindset. What you'll find, is that meditation can help you get through the toughest grinds in your life. Why? Because you can simply choose to detach yourself from the fear, from the boredom, or from the pain. When you do this, you can rise above stress and even find a way to thrive amidst the chaos. Mindfulness, a meditative practice that involves focusing on the here and now, has a lot in common with Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that suggests we can't avoid hardship, and nor should we want to. All we can do therefore, is to change the way that we respond to it. This is our obligation, and by doing so, we can work through the very toughest of times. Developing a Stoic mindset can be accomplished through practicing meditation and learning to direct your thoughts toward more positive things.